Well, in this video, I'm going to return back outdoors and go to the Snake River, and this time we're going to go across the river and go down to Weiss Bar and take a look at some things down there. One of them is a lot of Native American petroglyphs. They're in the rocks. There's also the remains of a stone home that is down in there. But let's take a look at where we are on the map to begin with. All right, what we have here is the corner of Idaho, the southwest corner. And right here as we get into where Boise is, the capital, if we move a little out, we're going to get to a town called Kuna. And right there, we're just going to go straight south out of there. And what we're going to do is run right into the Snake River Canyon here in just a few miles down the road. And what we're going to do is come along here. The road comes along the top over here. We'll drop down into the canyon here. And to cross the other side from here, we have to go across this dam right here, the Swan Falls Dam. And from up here, standing up here, we can look down and see the dam. So we have to cross the dam. We'll ride the bike and go across the dam, up this road on the other side. But before heading out of the canyon, we're going to take a right, and there's a primitive road just put in by the four-wheelers. We're going to drop down here and get down into this spot. At some point, it's a trail that vehicles can no longer get moving along, so we'll have kind of a trail to ourselves heading all the way in until we get back up in here into Weiss Bar. And we'll find the petroglyphs here, the home here. But as I was looking through here, I spotted something that I never saw when I was on the ground out there. I've been out to the Weiss Bar a number of times exploring the petroglyphs in the homes, or the home, but I've never, ever spotted this over here. I never looked at it with Google Earth. And so that's going to be on the trip here as well. The house is here, and I'm going to say I think I know what these are, but we'll go investigate and take a closer look. You can see that from the house being located here, there's a few of them right here coming along. I've walked and pedaled my bike right past them and never looked at those. I never thought anything of it except I do remember seeing holes in the ground there, but I didn't look at them closely. I didn't realize that they might be hand dug. So let's put that on the exploration agenda and get underway. Weiss Bar. And to make sure I've covered all the bases, Weiss Bar. Weiss, the name of the people who settled it. Bar, because it's a gravel bar. It's a remnant of the Bonneville flood. It's a gravel bar. Petroglyphs, old home, and the anomalous squares on the ground. All right, this video is going to be stitched together from several days' worth of collection, so all right, here I am at a point where this is kind of an intersection almost. It doesn't look like much of one, but there's a little trail that goes down to the house down there, the stone home. But I'll get to that later. It's a small place. But what I'm going to do is start right here. You can see that there are petroglyphs right here, starting in the rocks right away. But I want to check out those big rectangles on the ground. Big squares and rectangles, so I'm going to head that way and get started. Well, the house is right back there. This is where I should start running into the shapes. From here, I don't see anything but rolling terrain. I'll get the drone up and see what it looks like from above. So I go ahead and take off the drone. What I'm going to be looking for is, just those things that are not natural, things that are like vertical lines, parallel vertical lines, right angles, rectangles, squares, triangles, anything like that that really doesn't quite look like it belongs in nature. Now, it can belong in nature, of course, but out here in the terrain like this, seeing them repetitively, I'll be honest with you, when I saw them on Google Earth, my first thought was that they were agricultural fields, that they were probably made by the people who lived out here, they're living out there in the days when you don't go to the store. You don't have, and if you do go to the store, you might go once a month or something like that, have to ride horses. You go to a mercantile store, you get dry goods and things like that. You're not going to get fruits and vegetables and things like that. So you're out here, there's a nearby orchard where people had some apples. Of course, the trees are rotted and not, they're long gone. You pass those on the way getting up into here. But I'm thinking that at some point that downriver from them, they must have made some sort of little dikes up around with rocks. kind of like a rice paddy thing or something like that. Not for rice, of course, but just to get some water up on from the river right up here onto the soil. That if you went downstream and you put a little channel from upstream coming down in, you could get water in there. And there they are coming up in view here. That was my thought, that maybe they had these like that. But as I get out here and I'm looking closer, it's like, oh my gosh, no, they're not like that at all. They're not little rock walls up around holding gardens or something. You get down here, you get more of a three-dimensional scale of it than from the satellite imagery, and you suddenly get some depth to it and realize, whew, these are big. They're not somebody's garden out there. They look machine done almost. They're so big. But you get on them, and except for a few edges here and there, it's kind of interesting in what you see. But I was much further away when I went out there and got started at looking. I was not in the region yet. I was still quite a ways off. So as I get ready to come around, and I've got it figured out now, I come back, and at this point you can see that little red dot there. That's where I am actually. I've got a long way to go. You can see there's shapes down below, but they're not they're not symmetrical like the ones I'm looking for. So, well, you can see the house right there. So I guess I just wasn't quite far enough yet. So I'll just walk along here. And yeah, the drone showed that I wasn't there yet. But it's still pretty distinctive shape on the ground. Well, what's weird is that they look like flood damage from down here. Look, there it is. You know what? There might be a rock wall in there. Or just a deposit of stones. Yeah, they look like they've been piled almost deliberately to block this off right here, but I don't know. It's pretty rough. I have to get in the middle of it and get the drone up again, see if I'm actually inside of this stuff. Try to place myself in the objects. I thought they were gardens. Well, here's one of them. It doesn't look... There's another one. See the shapes of them, but they don't look man-made. They look like they're just silt. But they were shaped so deliberately. I wonder if those are stacked. Yeah. I don't know, like these. The flood would have been, like rippling through here, creating some kind of turbulence, perhaps, that created the shapes. Let me look a little further. Yeah, this is... It just looks natural from here, but from the above it did not. Wow. Oh, this is sediment from the flood. How fascinating. I thought they were man-made for agriculture. It's a small game path. Deer come down here. Well, oh, check it out. Looks like part of a stovepipe or something. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like anybody dug anything here. God, that Google Earth picture was so interesting. Or am I still missing something? I see some gravel that looks out of place. There's more metal down here. Well, maybe it's normal. That's the pile I was looking at over there, but here's another one. Yeah. Wow. Gravel piles. What the heck? And there's more metal down there. Oh well, okay, so strange shapes, strange man-made shapes on the ground do not look like they're man-made shapes at all when you get on top of them. Yeah, this is pretty interesting. I see a fence post. Just a T-pole. It's probably natural, it just looks weird. Look how that small one is right next to the big one. They don't look natural, do they? Something just feels weird. I don't know what the hell. I suppose it's possible, but how does a flood sort those? Yeah. Gotta be some way the water eddies move around it. Geez, I don't know. It's just looks like they've been dumped there by size. All right, I'm going to wrap this part up, actually. Okay, I've rethought that. I really had a minimal mindset. And looking at it to begin with, you see the fields there. I thought, well, yeah, that's just their agriculture fields. They're trying to trap water in there and, They got a little canal going, and they fill that up and they grow their whatever. I mean, you need food to live out there. It makes perfect sense. But then you look close and go, oh no, that's not it at all. Nobody made these out here with rocks. But I still think they were man-made. And when I look at them, what I realize now is that long ago, along the Snake River, people used to scoop and mine for gold. And I think what this is right here is evidence. Those gravel piles, boy, at some point they look like small gravel tailings, small piles of gravel tailings. So if you look there, it would be a small operation. We're working within this square, this rectangle. We're scooping things up, filtering it, dumping it here or there. And I think that's probably what it was. It was part of some early gold mining operation that is, long defunct and not practiced anymore, but just the remains of it left behind. I think that would be a better explanation, that it is man-made, but it's so old. It's also just been under snow, rain, weather, erosion, that it still has the shapes there, and there's still some metal there. But the shape, the way the rocks are and the way everything is shaped, and knowing what the history is, that actually, and the size of it, you could be in there with a small tractor scooping things up. Perfect. Now we're on board with something that makes sense. Anyway, I wanted to wrap that up. It took so much time down there that I ended up not getting the video that I wanted of the house as much as I wanted to, and barely any petroglyphs at all. So I've got to make a trip down there and just focus on the petroglyphs. They're spread out all over the place. And what I did down there, just getting lost in this, I spent all my time down there doing that. So. Oh. That one had a shell on it. People broke some off and took them out. Right here is a canal. I don't think it was irrigation. This is big. So, you know what? It kind of lends more to the idea that what was happening along there in those rectangles was a mining operation, and they needed water. They were digging up the stuff along the... They were digging up the river till. The residue from the flood, looking for gold. And so they're sifting through it, and they're using the water from up here to filter through it. At that time, they're probably also utilizing mercury to separate it out, probably contaminating the water at some point in time. So I'm no expert, but these look like sheep. There were bighorn sheep. They were hunted off to extinction here, but they've replaced the sheep in the mountains down here with the California bighorn sheep. So there's bighorn sheep back out here. God, this one's beautiful. Whew, look at that. Look, a 6-candle candelabra. No, I don't know what that is. Shh, quiet. You know what though? It is 6. So is this. Gosh, who knows? This was in rough shape by comparison. They pick different pallets. Oh my, look at that. It shows up all over the place. Who knows what it is? It could be like their version of a yin-yang symbol or a cross or something like that. As you get the drone out and look at these, huh? You know what? It's almost like they're all facing south. Boy, somebody carved something big down there. It looks pretty modern. Better have a look at that. But look at this one. Oh, yeah. I want to get up there and look, but I don't want to climb on them. How you guys doing? I'm not here to bug you. Gotta get the light on it right to see it better. Yeah, gotta be kind of from here. What did I see over here? Something very elaborate. Something that didn't look right at all. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Figures there's a cairn. Wrasse, that's no good. I can't imagine those Easter egg looking things with the four legs coming down. It's like mixed audio frequencies that cancel each other out. I'm sure I'm seeing what I want to, or just for my own memory. Those Easter egg looking things look like little rocket ships taking off, don't they? We're heading north, the north side of Weiss Bar. It pretty much runs east-west, so we're near the river. And here we have the remains of a stone home that when you look right off the bat, it puts those other ones to shame. This was very well made. Look how square that is. Just from native materials. Big windows. There's another room. I don't know how you would have gotten in and out of it. It almost looks like there's a doorway there, but I don't want to get into all of that. It's crumbling. So all of that mud that is between the rocks, it is this soil right out here. They mix it with water, make a kind of a clay out of it. It is kind of clay. It's not very hard. Anyway, then they put that in and smooth it in. And it creates a bit of a seal, but it eventually is going to wear out of there. But you can see at one point, it's all built with that. It's not just airflow through there. It's all packed together with that clay. And from the inside, you can see remains over here of where they actually had it smoothed off on the inside, on the interior. Gosh, that looks like a cement, doesn't it? Yeah, there's some cement in there. Yeah. So they had this fixed up pretty nice for a house with no power. I'm sure they had a fireplace and they had water running down there. I see a wooden lintel up there for something. Anyway, yeah, so this is it. Now, anytime you find homes like this out here, they're going to have a dugout nearby, a place to store their food and dry goods outside the house. The critters are going to come after it. So you put them in barrels, wooden barrels and crates and things, jars, and bring them outside. Here we have it right here. It's overgrown. You can see there's a hump there. There's a hump here. Let me get a better view of it. What they've done is they've dug a partial hole into the ground, scooped it out, built up rocks around it, probably had a roof over the top of it. And this would be the entryway right here. It's all filled in with tumbleweeds and brush. That's the cooler. That's the pantry. Anyway, yeah, there we have it. So I'm more inclined to think then that instead of somebody homesteading this, ranching it. It looks more like they were living down here trying to mine it. And somebody had more resources to build this. Oh, look, somebody put a piece of... Look, somebody put a cast iron. That's going to be part of the stove. Yeah. Well, cool. All right, well, that's going to wrap this up. I think I got a better handle on, yeah, those. I really had myself convinced that there was agriculture something there. And now I see that, no, there was something bigger going on. Much bigger. Anyway, that's it for Weiss Bar. We saw the petroglyphs, the cabin, well, not cabin, the stone house, and the big, what now appear to be man-made, they probably just dug that out, sifted through it, filtered it, dug more out, sifted it, filtered it, just kept moving it through there. And that's why those rock piles are the way they are, yeah. So, this sounds a little bit different than it used to. The Weiss Bar, some homesteader down here living off the land. I don't know about that now. All right, see you in the next video.